bitch. Oh, excuse you. Baloney wash. I'm annoyed. I'm just here to give my opinion and carry in. Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we talk about all the latest in entertainment news, celebrity news, gossip, movies, music, anything that got to do with the world of entertainment. We talk about it on this here show. So, before we get started, do yourselves a solid and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button, so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm like trying to adjust stuff. Yeah, it was a mess. I know I was supposed to start earlier, so I want to sincerely apologize to everybody for my tardiness. Don't be tardy for the party. But I was tardy because all of a sudden, when I went to go set up everything, my internet started acting a fool. So I had to go and do a little fixation of some things, and I figured out what the issue is. So that's why we had to start like a damn hour late. I think it was an hour. But anyway, nevertheless, we're here. I'm ready to do a show. We got a lot to talk about. There's a reason why I'm wearing my Madonna shirt, and I'll explain it to y'all in a minute. But well, besides the fact that it's Madonna, but also there's a reason why I'm wearing this. But like I said, I'm gonna let you guys know in a second. But first, we have a lot of topics that we're going to get to. I want to give you all a little sneak peek. So we're going to talk about Dune 2. I did see the film and give my overall thoughts. I got the latest on Fifth Harmony because that story came out the other day that they were reuniting. So I have the latest on that. Plus, Netflix canceled another one of my favorite damn shows, and I see this is why we don't really invest in shows with Netflix because they always like playing in our face. So it's about that. Plus, I got the ratings for the Wendy Williams documentary. Charlamagne, backpedaled and pussy popped and apologized over that big back comment that he made. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Joe Budden is out here declaring that female rap is over because of Cardi B dropping her latest single. I'll get my thoughts on the whole female rap situation and if I think it's over and if this clown just need to shut the fuck up and stop asserting himself in female shit. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Miley's child, the Cyrus family, y'all are a mess. So we're going to talk about that. The fact that Tish went and married her daughter's ex-boyfriend. Nasty. But we're going to talk about that and the fact that apparently, because when I first wrote the article, I was like, Miley, you okay with this? Like Miley was good. And, I had a Nicki moment. Like, you down with this? Apparently Miley didn't know. So until this story came out. So we're going to talk about that. So I'm not gonna put my foot entirely on Miley neck, but we're gonna talk about it. Plus, Andy Cohen was having a bit of a PR crisis because all this other stuff coming up with him with the booger sugar and getting a little too comfortable with the housewives and all that mess going on with that. So we're gonna talk about that. Plus, Darryl Stevens revealed that he was told to stay in the closet when he was on Noah's Ark. And one of the articles I forgot to add, and I'm gonna do that right now, is that RuPaul threw some shade at Madonna again. So we're gonna talk about that and a whole lot more. But like I said before, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I do see we have some comments. Let me get to that real quick. Um, the theme played in full about that. I know because the internet's been acting a damn fool and it's been getting on my nerves. But yeah, and and don't forget just like I'll lump Jess hilarious in this conversation. And yeah, I'm stealing that from T.S. Madison because she did borrow one of my lines when I called Tasha K Trashy K. So yes, that came from me, bitch. And if she can use my stuff, I can use hers. We borrowing shit. But Beyonce quiet as it's kept. Beyonce was not really that quiet because she got paid for it. But Beyonce borrowed some T.S. Madison isms for Renaissance, so why can't I? But anyway, so before we get to the topics, I do want to address something. So the reason why I'm wearing this shirt is not only because I'm a Madonna fan and stuff, and this is the shirt that, when I was sick, I didn't, because I had the hoodie and I had to wear all that stuff. So this is actually the shirt that I wore to the Madonna concert when I went in New York in Madison Square Garden. Got a lot of compliments on this. Somebody actually thought I designed it. I was like, no, it was a friend of mine, Eric Alon. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because he got a post, and I was just scrolling to my Instagram and stuff, and people, some queen, tight ass bitch, decided to throw a little shade at my friend. So I wanted to come on here and defend her. Because I was like, oh no, bitch, you're not coming for my friend. So I wanted to pull this up. So he posted this on his IG, and he said, anyone want to weigh in on this hateful comment by Stephen D. Wayne Smith? And he wrote, no one wants a shirt with Madonna on it. And I was like, first of all, that's a lie because I had one of your shirts with Madonna on it and got lots of compliments. And I did. When I was literally walking just to go get some drinks, I was trying to see if they had, because the one thing I hate about doing Instagram on social media is that they make it so hard to scroll down in the comments, and I ain't got time. So anyway, if y'all want to go support him, because let me see if it's on. Oh, so I don't know if y'all can see it, but well, actually, let me try to open it and see if I can share the tab. So let me go to his website. So this is it right here. So Rico Star, he has and look at Mario Diaz. He has a lot of people that wear stuff. She LaRue wears the stuff. This is like his shirt. So he sells like gay shirts, like Bareback, Dice Daddy, Better Than Poppers, and there's a Madonna shirt that you can see right here. So, yeah, look at me doing the Lord's work. And this is actually the shirt that I had. And it's a very good fit when you wear the shirt because it definitely made my titties that definitely made my shirt, my chest look on point. So I love the cut of the type of t-shirt and all this other stuff. But let me go back, and then I believe he has other Madonna shirts in here too. I do like this one. I did contemplate. I was like, oh, I want to get me. Well, I am gonna buy another one. But yeah, the shirts will run you from like depending 50. This shirt did cost me $50. With the tax, it was probably a lot more. But some of the shirts are like 64 and all that other stuff. He has a lot more shirts and stuff in there. But I just wanted to give y'all an idea. But anyway, so the site is RicoStar, RicoStarr.com. So if y'all want to go support him and buy his shirts and show that because he is a Madonna fan. Because I first met Eric when um Chauncey D did like he does a yearly every year he does a Madonna worship show. And what they do is they ask a lot of the drag queens, a lot of the local New York City, performers. And this was when he lived in New York. Now now he's in Florida. I think he lives in Wilton Manors, where all the gays have gone pretty much. But anyway, so he went in and he was performing. Damn, what's the song? I'm trying to remember what. Oh, I think he did Fever. He did a cover of Fever. It was like sultry, sexy. It was giving very much Justify My Love the way he was doing it. Because he played, it's gay man, great body, plays in that. We got to play up the sultriness and all that stuff. So that's when I first met Eric, and we became good friends ever since. So with that being said, do yourselves a solid and support local talent, local designers and stuff because his stuff is really good. The shirt is really good. You can definitely see like the cut and everything. The fabric is pretty good and all this other stuff. So I hate when people come around here and throw shade at the behest of, I guess, Madonna because they'll never meet her or whatever. But if somebody's out here and is creating designs or whatever, why shouldn't we support that instead of you going in their DMs and stuff on social media and throwing hate? So that's why I decided to wear the shirt today. And I decided to do that little speech in the beginning because I have, when I really genuinely care for people and I'm good friends with people, I will windmill a bitch for them. So I go hard for my people. So that's why I wanted to put that out there. But before we get to the thing, let me read. Okay, so I got comments. I heard Usher is allegedly upset. And I heard that too, but then also Usher has got a lot of stuff that I know his phone been blown up this morning because it's been a lot. First of all, we had Russell Simmons slipped and well, not slid or slipped, but he brought up in something or whatever. Oh, Usher's friend, with all the stuff, the accusations have been going on around him. He's been saying that, oh, Usher's been a friend and this, that, and the third. And then the whole thing surrounding Diddy and them freak offs, his name was incorporated in that too. So now everybody looking at Usher sideways like, girl, you was out there throwing them cheeks, in a circle, messing with these problematic ass, perverted ass, grown ass men like Russell Simmons and Diddy. So his name been in a lot of these problematic ass people's mouths this morning. And then if he is upset about Beyonce, I mean, quiet as it's kept, I would be too, because this was supposed to be my moment. And yet again, Beyonce Virgo be Virgoing and had to make the shit about her. Oh, I'm trying to break the internet. Oh, well, that commercial didn't work. So now I'm gonna let y'all know I got a new album coming. And then you got everybody losing their damn mind. So unfortunately, it's the name of the game, but it just, sad that this is how the world is, that you got people out here trying to overshadow. But if you an A-list artist like he is and she is, you don't let all that stuff deter you from what you're doing. Um, but I did say before in regards to this comment, I did not think Usher's live performance. I mean, he gave what I knew. Usher gave what I knew he was going to give. He gave you choreography. He gave you showmanship because that's what Usher is. He's a showman, like Beyonce is a showgirl. So was Jennifer Lopez and Madonna and so many of the others in that space. But Usher ain't really gave us no good music in a long time. And I listened to his new album and I was disappointed. I just felt like it was all over the place. It lacked vision, it lacked cohesion. And there was a couple of songs that I did like. He took risks, he got into the whole Afro beats thing. Like there was a couple of songs in there that was cute, but overall, I just think the album was all that good. I was thoroughly disappointed with the album. So I listened to it once and that was enough for me. So without further ado, everybody, let's move on to our first topic. I want to get a couple of little topics out of the way before we get to the main one. So I went to go see Dune 2 over the weekend. I saw it on Thursday, opening night, 3 o'clock show. It was a long ass movie, but it was worth it. It wasn't like I was sitting there watching Oppenheimer, which child, I kept looking at him. I was like, okay, there's too much goddamn talking in this movie. But I will say with Oppenheimer, the acting was superb. Like Cillian Murphy did a great job. He's gonna win the Oscar for, best actor Oscar next week. And I do believe Robert Downey Jr. is gonna win the Oscar too for his role, the best supporting actor. Like they were all good. And who knows? Hopefully the director of that film wins Best Picture. But I'm really hoping like in 2025, Dune gets all the Oscar nominations because it was that good in regards to the cinematography, the acting, the build up of everything, the world building and stuff. But anyway, before I get to my overall review, I'm gonna let y'all know what the box office was. So Warner Brothers and legendary Dune Part 2 has delivered on its promise to re-energize the box office after a terrible early winter. And I'm glad, and you want to know something also? I'm actually glad that they moved Dune 2 because if it would have came out around the same time as Oppenheimer, what it was supposed to, child, Oppenheimer would have been spooked and nervous because the in regards of all the attention probably going to Dune rather than Oppenheimer. But director Denis Villeneuve's big budget sequel has collected 81.5 million in its domestic debut and delivered a mighty necessary jolt for struggling movie theaters. It's the biggest opening weekend of the year and the largest since last October's Taylor Swift concert film Eras Tour, which grossed 93 million. I also want to point out too, because I'm glad that this came up with the whole Taylor Swift thing. Beyonce also was a part of that conversation because I saw a previous article, even though they don't mention it in here, that said that Beyonce and Taylor Swift both saved the box office, besides Barbenheimer and all that other stuff. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, Beyonce's Renaissance Tour, when it was in the theaters, it definitely did what needed to be done in regards of jolting the thing. And I was mad because with Dune 2, I went to the theater to go get that I call it the sandworm fleshlight because it looked like when it looked like you stick your dick in it as they ate all the damn popcorn. But none of the theaters had it. Like I went to Lincoln Square because I always go there when I want to see movies in IMAX or Dolby, and they didn't even have the bucket. They were talking about that it was sold out before the first day. I'm like, when would y'all start putting it on sale? Because it made no sense how y'all ran out. What y'all only put 10 up for sale because it didn't make no sense. So hopefully, because I'm gonna go try to see the movie again this week, hopefully in IMAX, even though I feel like the experience is better in Dolby. I feel like I'm gonna see if they have the bucket. Hopefully they do, but it seemed like everybody that I've talked to, even when I've watched other pundits on YouTube talking about the movie and their spoiler reviews, they said that their theaters were sold out too. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And AMC, quiet as it's kept, y'all could use the damn money. So I don't know why y'all don't make sure that y'all have it. But anyway, someone said this is an outstanding opening for a science fiction sequel. This is what David A. Gross of movie consulting firm Franchise Entertainment Research said. Audiences are connecting with these human, vulnerable characters. Buoyed by positive reviews and glowing word of mouth, it has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes and an A on Cinema Score. Dune 2 seems to have expanded its fan base beyond sci-fi buffs and arrived on a higher end of expectations. Head Heading into the weekend, Warner Brothers and studio behind the adaptation of Frank Herbert's seminal 1965 novel conservatively projected a $65 million start, though most box office prognosticators say that 2 times fast believe that the revenues would surpass 80 million. At the international box office, the sequel added 97 million for a massive global tally of 178 million. So the movie is doing really well. I know a lot of people were worried that this movie might be a little too much for people to get, like in regards of like the world building, the religious undertones, or the talk about religion and messiahs and beliefs and non-beliefs and all those things, when in the Bene Gesserit and all other stuff. People thought that it might be too much for people to handle. But I always said, even though I do feel like the world's full of idiots, that people are a lot more smarter than you know, give them credit. Because if people were dumb, then how the hell did Oppenheimer gross $1 billion? So clearly, a lot of people who are smart had to go see that movie. And I think a lot of times, especially with Dune 2, I think the reason why that movie has made a lot of money is because people have been seeing it in IMAX and Dolby, which was the intention, rather than a regular theater. I couldn't see it in a regular theater. Like I needed surround sound, I need the recliner seat, I need that whole experience, the crisp cinematography, all that stuff. So my overall thoughts is this. It said that after seeing the film in the Dolby Theater in Lincoln Square on Thursday, I finally found the words to express my thoughts about the film because it was a lot to take in and digest. Now, there were moments in the film where I became overwhelmed with emotion and literally started crying uncontrollably. One scene was when Paul had finally become the Muad'Dib, and he says to the Fremen that no one in the room can challenge him. This is when he's in the throne room and drinking the water of life. That was a powerful scene that I felt through my entire body, especially when he would look at some of the Fremen and tell them things about their lives that only they would know. I also love the conversation throughout the film where the different classes of Fremen would question the ideas of religion and if such a thing as a messiah existed. Now, Javier Bardem was as excellent as Stilgar and provided the film's much-needed balance of comedy relief and ferocious warrior seriousness. He was also great at conveying the much-needed emotion the film asked in regards to convincing non-believers, the characters in the film, and the viewers watching, whether or not Paul was in fact the one. And I know when people think the one, they think the Matrix, but honestly, I actually think, because the book is from 1965, I do believe that the Matrix was inspired by Dune. Now, Josh Brolin was also excellent in his role as Gurney Halleck, a strong ally in the House Atreides who trained Paul in the first film. I also love Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica and how she used blind faith and the prophecies surrounding Paul as a way to manipulate the Fremen by starting with the weak ones, which is a lot of times what they do with religion. And I've always told y'all when it comes to religion and all that blind faith and stuff, that how dangerous it is and how people like to use religion and not use it, but how religion was created to enslave the minds of the weak. I've always said that, but people look at me like I'm crazy when I say that. But anyway, so and then it said, then again, I pretty much love Rebecca in anything she does. Now, Anya Taylor Joy's cameo as Elia or Leah, Elia, I don't know how to say her name, but anyway, Paul's unborn little sister was excellent, as well as fingers crossed she is included in Doom Messiah, unless Denis has plans to cast Elia as a little girl like in the book. Now, Zendaya was pretty good in her role as Chani, but there were times in some of her scenes where she played up the angry female warrior a bit too much. I was hoping for a little more range, or maybe she was just following directions from the knee. Because there was certain moments in there where she kind of took me out. In certain scenes, I'm like, I wasn't getting it. The one scene I did like was when, Paul had to go call on the worm for the first time. And they were like, she was like, call, and then Shawnee's friend was like, call on a big one. Don't make us look like pussies or whatever out here. Like, call on a big one. And then Shawnee gives her this look like, bitch, don't play with my man. Even though that wasn't her man yet, but she was like, had that look of worry on her face. That I was like, okay, that scene got me. But then there was certain scenes where I'm like, okay, I know, Zendaya's a Virgo, so she giving a little too much of that me mug with the face. So I was like, relax the face a little bit. Like, give me a little range. She didn't give me that. So there were parts of the movie that I felt like it took me out with that. Now, it was kind of, in my opinion, I felt like it was kind of the way I felt about Dave Bautista's Glossu Raban, aka the Beast character. Any other time, there have been directors who will pull good acting moments out of him, and Denis was able to do that, when he had his little small scene in Blade Runner 2049. But I wasn't really convinced of his character in Dune 2. Now, another scene that got me when he silenced that Benny Gesserit Reverend Mother Gaius Helen Monaghan. Oh, I couldn't stand her in that damn movie. But when he screamed silence and she almost fell back, the whole audience loved that part. And then there was a guy that was like, yes. And I was laughing, but I was like, because that bitch got on my damn nerves and all the little hot that plotting and all that other mess she was doing. And then it was like when you found out, because yeah, this is a spoiler review. So hopefully, if y'all didn't see the movie, or if you've seen the movie, you can chime in. If you don't want to know anything, you can, go away. But um, and I forgot to give that warning that I was going to do a spoiler. So hopefully people caught on as I was talking. It's my fault. But anyway, so you know, and then the fact of the matter, when you find out, when Rebecca Ferguson finds out, her character finds, when she finds out that she is actually a Harkonnen, that her father is the Stellan Skarsgård's character, um, and then Paul finds out because he drank the thing that he and Fade Routher, played by Austin Butler, how they found out they was cousins. So she didn't know that, but she found out when she drank the liquid, the was it the water of life? She found out what her true purpose was and who she truly was and who her father was. So there was all of that. But anyway, so it's another scene that got me was when he silenced the Benny Gesserit Reverend Mother. Yeah, I already said that. Also, the fight scene between Paul and Fade Routher, where while good, felt anticlimactic to me. Austin Butler was great in the role, but I wish they would have utilized Fade's character a bit more so that his final fight with Paul would have been more impactful. So yeah, I love the scenes that they had him in, and I love, where they did what they need to do with him. But during that final battle, I felt like he shouldn't just been hiding in the damn room with everybody and waiting for, the Fremen to break down the door. I felt like he should have been out there on the front lines with his brother, Dave Bautista character, and he should have been fighting alongside his brother instead of hiding in the castle with the Emperor, played by Christopher Walken, and all that stuff. And then he has a little final fight scene in the end. Although that fight scene was good though, because I was like, damn, y'all fight fast. But anyway, so as speaking of Fate, I also thought the Gladiator Arena scene where he fought three of the last remaining members of the House of Atreides was the most beautifully shot sequence I had seen on screen in a long time. I just love the cinematography with that scene. And he had like the black teeth, and it was like very black and white. I just love that. I would love to watch behind the scenes footage or whatever on how they put that scene together, because the cinematography alone in that scene was just amazing. Also, the scene when they're the Fremen come out of the sand the first time, and then they take down a lot of the ships and stuff. And then Shawnee's like trying to shoot a missile, and then she finally brings the ship down, and then they're running, and then you see like they're just running, and it's just quiet. All of a sudden, like the ship starts falling down, and then you see stuff happening in the background while you're looking at their shot. I love shots like that. So, and then I also said after Paul had the Emperor, played by Christopher Walken, as I said, abdicate the throne, took Princess Irulan's hand in marriage, and had the Fremen show the other houses paradise after they refused to accept him as their new emperor. I'm quite excited to see where Denis has cooking up for Dune Messiah, which he had said will be his final Dune film. And I also was wondering while watching Dune 2, how did the Fremen get on them sandworms, aka they're called the Shai Hulud. We also saw, we saw how they would get on and how they would call them, but he never showed how they got off. And then also how they managed to not only just get one person on it, but a collection of people. Even during the scene where they had to get Lady Jessica, where they transported her from the north to the south, how'd they get her on there inside that little that thing that they had her in? Um, and then she's pregnant and all that other stuff. So I was like, what y'all do? Jump on that shit? Like, how'd y'all get that to, stand still? But also, there was a scene. I was like, where is it? Because I could have sworn I posted it. About what the hell is that? Oh, well, Austin Butler. He said, there's a scene in the film where, oh, I think what I did was I added it, but I didn't refresh the article because I was like, wait a minute, I know I added another piece to it. Because there's also a scene where Austin Butler confirmed in an interview with Access Hollywood, because there's a kiss that he does with Stellan Skarsgård's character, who is Baron Vladimir Harkonnen. They kiss on the mouth. And I was like, that's your uncle. Why you kiss him like that? But I thought it was like a customary situation. He said it was that he improvised it. And because it was unexpected and creepy, a situation going through the nephew and uncle, but it reaffirmed Fade Routher's devotion to his uncle and deep desire to be him. So that's why he mimicked Skarsgård's speaking voice while crafting his own accent for Fade Routher. He was trying to, in a way, become, because he always wanted to be in that position. And then at one point, he does become like the temporary guy that everybody has to answer to. So overall, I want to say this. I love the movie. It was great. If y'all get a chance, definitely check that film out if you get a chance. So there's that. Now, let's move on to our next topic and talk about Fifth Harmony because we talked about it last time that they were getting back together because this was an article that came out of the Post or Page Six, which is a part of the New York Post. So, despite a report from Page Six claiming the ladies of Fifth Harmony will be returning, including Camila Cabello, sources are claiming that the rumors are false. Now, this story comes from Rolling Stone. So, rumors of a possible reunion first began swirling after the group's members, Ali Brooke, Dinah Jane, Lauren, I don't even know how to say her damn last name, so I'm not even going to pronounce it. And Camila Cabello publicly supported Normani's new album announcement. And on Friday, Page Six published a report that the group was in talks of working together again. The speculation also coincided with a sudden increase in plays of Fifth Harmony's music over the last month. Streams for All in My Head Flex featuring Fetty Wap saw a whopping 590% increase in the US on Spotify in the last month, according to data provided to Rolling Stone. When Normani announced her album Dopamine on February 21st, US streams for Fifth Harmony reached a peak jump of nearly 90% compared to the previous month, according to Spotify data. Now, following Normani's album announcement, fans went into a frenzy after every fellow member of the group commented on Normani's announcement post. Cabello and Ali commented emojis while Dinah wrote, "There she is." Why do y'all always got to put Lauren's last name in there? Everybody else get a first name except Lauren. I think y'all be always y'all want to be fierce and clever with that shit. Anyway, but she said, "Let's go." So fans have dubbed the sudden interest in the group's music the Fifth Harmony Renaissance. The Renaissance started after a video of TikToker Noah Miller from Noah Miller about Fifth Harmony's impact on music, specifically with All in My Head went viral and caught the attention of the group. No shade, but do you really have an impact on music? I mean, I like their songs, but I don't realize I mean, if y'all are probably bigger Fifth Harmony fans than me, but I'm like, do they really have a really big impact on music? Because if that was the case, how come individually they music ain't doing what needs to be done? Even though the music industry continues to try to shove Miss Camilla down our throats. So, and they said last October, Brooke cleared rumors that Fifth Harmony was reuniting after a clip circulated online of her agreeing that a reunion was closer than we think, and that there are maybe working on something. The Gone to Bed singer simply clarified that she's rekindling her relationship with the rest of the girls. I'm thrilled to see that there's a lot of interest surrounding Fifth Harmony. This is what Brooke tweeted. Reunion has many meanings, and while there's no official band reunion happening, some beautiful friendships and relationships are slowly reuniting and healing an empowering way. But the girls have been busy. That's why I want to get to the bottom to see what they've been doing. So now Normani, announced her debut album Dopamine last month. Cabello has been teasing a new era of music. Dinah made her return to music with Yaya last summer. Brooke released the Christmas EP last year, and Lauren released the ballad The Day the World Blows Up to help Palestinian children amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. So Lauren has been very vocal and active on social media with that. Um, and while it's cute or whatever that they want to go off and continue to do their own individual thing, and y'all should be able to do that, but quiet as it's kept, no shade. But none of y'all have the X factor to be the Beyonce of the group. So um I've never really been a fan of Camilla's solo work, except for that Havana song. That was cute or whatever, but I could never really get into her. But I do feel like Normani should be allowed to have her moment because she never really got to have that solo artist moment because she took a break to take care of her parents. They've been sick. So I feel like let's give Normani her moment, excuse me, to excuse me. Let Normani have her moment where she gets to be a pop star, let her promote her record, and after everybody's got it out their system of doing what they need to do, maybe in 2025 or 2026, we can get ourselves a, you know, solo album from Fifth Harmony. Okay, so let's see. We got comments. They weren't Little Mix. Little Mix did better. As I do agree with that. Like to me, I will say this. I actually like Little Mix more than I like Fifth Harmony. Fifth Harmony was cute, but I really don't see. I feel like a lot of y'all, no shade, be going on social media just so that way y'all could go viral with some shit on TikTok. So that kid putting together his little video said, "Oh, they had this great impact on music or whatever." Fine, okay, they had songs, but I don't recall them having that much of an impact, especially in America. Maybe I didn't see the TikTok video. Maybe he's not even American. Maybe he's from another country or whatever. But maybe they had a bigger impact overseas. But in my opinion, I thought Little Mix was the better group than Fifth Harmony. Fifth Harmony seemed to me as a local ad, they fail everywhere because Little Mix conquered the globe. And I like Little Mix. Even though one of the girls left, but yeah. So there's that. Okay, so we have one more small little topic to get to, and then we'll get to the main stuff. So now I was upset when I read this yesterday, or was it the day before? It was over the weekend, I'll say. When Netflix decided to bring the curtain down on the Michelle Yeoh crime drama, The Brother's Son. Now I like this show, and I was so pissed when I read the art. I was like, "Oh, wait, is it coming back?" Because I saw The Brother's Son and said, "No, they canceled it," which irks my spirit. But whatever. Typical Netflix. Let's continue. So, according to Deadline, Netflix will not be proceeding with the second season of The Brother's Son, the action comedy drama from Glee and American Horror Story co-writer Brad Falchuk and Gwyneth Paltrow's husband and newcomer Byron Wu. The news comes almost 2 months after the eight-episode first season of the series starring Michelle Yeoh, Justin Chien, Samsung Lee, June Lee, and Heidi Kwan was released on January 4th. The Brother Son launched to critical praise with reviewers hailing Oscar winner Yeoh's standout performance. The show spent 5 weeks in the Netflix top 10 for English language series, peaking at number two, but it couldn't find a large audience. So that was the reason why they pretty much canceled the show. So its performance was modest by Netflix standards, with its number of weekly viewers staying below 7 million and slipping under 2 million for its last 2 weeks in the top 10. And I feel like if you haven't seen it, basically, it kind of had like this dark comedy vibe, and it had like it was mixed with a little like a it felt like a little family soap opera. So it was comedic, it had drama, it was like a family soap, it had all the things in there, and I enjoyed it, especially Justin Chien, because I was like, "Ooh, that boy that played Charles, he could get." But anyway, so the brother son follows a Taipei gangster, Charles' son, who settled into his life as a ruthless killer. But when his father is shot by a mysterious assassin, and he also wanted to be a chef too. So I like that whole idea that he really wanted to be a chef, but he had to give that dream, and he was still making his little pastries or whatever the case was. But he had to put that dream to the side because he had to follow in his father's footsteps and take over the family empire, or be a part of it, or be like the under his father, the underboss, I guess what you call it. But when his father is shot by a mysterious assassin, Charles must go to LA to protect his mother, played by Yo, and utterly unaware younger brother, Bruce, played by Samsung Lee. So I liked the show when it was out. I was so upset when they canceled it. Netflix, you know what? I feel like what y'all need to be doing, y'all need to change the way that y'all put, in my opinion, the way y'all put out content. I know they're the ones that started the whole binge thing, but I don't think people watch shows like that anymore. Or the fact is, we watch a show, you drop a show on a Friday, we done with it by Sunday. It's not trending. We moved on to the next thing. So what I always love about, especially I'll use Prime Video, for example, Reacher. The reason why Reacher is one of the highest rated shows over on Prime Video and was doing well in the ratings, and they already just finished season three, so who knows when that's coming? It's probably coming at the end of the year. The reason why that show worked is because they released the first three episodes at once, and then the rest of the season, which was 8 episodes, same amount that we got from um the brother's son, they released it weekly. So Netflix, y'all need to start doing it. Y'all need to change up y'all strategy, because it's like, yeah, shows aren't going to continue to stay up there in the numbers if you're not going to release it week to week. We've seen that this is the way that things work, but Netflix want to do what they want to do and keep raising prices and all this other bullshit, and not giving us mediocrity. Your shows and stuff on one point is good, but a lot of y'all movies is trash. Child, don't even get me started on that fucking movie Mea Culpa, the Kelly Rowland mess that she been out trying to promote weeks on end. But that movie was terrible. But anything coming from Tyler Perry, you already know what you're getting. You know you're gonna get horrible writing, horrible cinematography, horrible everything. That man made $1 billion being mediocre. But anyway, so unfortunately we lost that show, and it is what it is. I was really looking forward to season two, but is this also makes me feel like why even invest in shows with Netflix? This is why I wait a long time. And it's because Netflix, I get into a show and then all of a sudden, no, no, we're not bringing it back because it didn't do well. Well, how about giving a show a chance? And it's been the complaint from a lot of the LGBT shows that they put on. Anything that's outside of white shows, Netflix be quick to cancel. So it is what it is, I guess. All right, so let's move on and talk about my girl, Wendy Williams. How you doing? So, Lifetime's controversial Where's Wendy Williams documentary proved to be a big draw for the cable network. According to Deadline, the documentary averaged 1.2 million total viewers over the 2 nights in Nielsen Live plus 3 and 6.2 million total viewers across linear and digital platforms to date. The network says Where is Wendy Williams is Lifetime's best new nonfiction performance in 2 years since the Janet Jackson documentary, with total viewers with 25 to 64 and 25 to 64 beating out. Well, it says W women. Wait, what is W 25 to 64? I'm not sure what that is. Is that worldwide? And then A means average because it doesn't say what it actually stands for. But anyway, beat out January's The Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, which is now ranked number 2 in, L plus SD. I don't even know what any of them initials and stuff mean. I don't know why they don't just spell it out, but Hollywood gets so in their damn bubble, they expect us to know what all that shit means. But anyway, so on premiere night on February 24th, Where's Wendy Williams was the number one program across all TV and total social interactions, Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube, according to Lifetime. The full documentary will peak starting tonight at 7 and again on Saturday, March 2nd at 1:30 p.m. The documentary aired just days after Williams was diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia and frontotemporal dementia. Williams's guardian filed the lawsuit against Lifetime parent. Child, she was in on it. First of all, I don't know how her guardian was filing the lawsuit when I've said time and time again she had to agree to allow this thing to happen, but she wanna pretend like she didn't have nothing to do with it. But anyway, she filed a lawsuit against Lifetime parent company A&E Network seeking a temporary restraining order to block the network from airing the project, but it was denied by a New York appeals court justice. Now, per the official description, over the course of nearly 2 years, cameras chronicled the former television host and radio star Wendy Williams on the next phase of her life following the end of her iconic talk show. The documentary provides a raw, honest, and unfiltered reality of Wendy's life after she was placed under financial guardianship, shedding light on the vulnerabilities that have turned Wendy into the hot topic herself. Suffering mental and physical issues, Wendy's delicate state of mind, erratic behavior, and declining health were all captured by the cameras. And I saw that people were upset with production because they continued to film her when she was going through whatever it was that she was going through. They're like, oh, you could clearly see she wasn't of sound mind. But here's the thing: producers were brought on by the manager. Will Selby agreed to this. So whether or not he want to sit and pretend like he ain't know what was going on, and then you had um the publicist from LA that was being a vulture, the vulture that she was, jumping in on a situation and trying to say, "Oh no, it was the producer's fault. They was out here exploiting her." But sis, you was exploiting her too. Like nobody told you to take her to L.A. knowing the condition that she was under with the drinking and all the other stuff. And you kept feeding and enabling her and taking her to things because you wanted to prove to her that you were that girl that you could get her these meetings. But you had her go into a NBC Universal meeting looking like a drunken hot ass fool. You had her going in looking like a mess. You should have made sure that you always make sure that your client is 110% before you take him into a meeting. Everybody knows that, but clearly this bitch was an amateur trying to step up and do Will's job. But this is what happens when Wendy hires people who are inexperienced to do these type of jobs. Because she did it with Kelvin. Kelvin ain't know nothing about in the industry. She wouldn't hire her husband to be her manager, but because he was from the Brownsville and he was able to bulldoze and bully and bamboozle people, he brought that gangster shit up in managing his wife, which is why she let him get away with all the mother mess that he was getting away with, the cheating and all that foolishness. So I know people are still upset over the fact that this video was out there, that they're exploiting her. But here's the reality, and this made me think. I was like, would y'all have watched like if it was a regular person, if it was Jane Doe from down the street, Y'all would not have watched no regular reality series or whatever about a regular person under a conservatorship. Y'all would have only watched because it was a celebrity. Same thing about when it came to Britney. Y'all only cared because it was Britney and it brought up free Britney. Whitney's the same way. Y'all a lot of times, everybody tries to act all high and mighty in these situations, but I've always noticed that y'all only give a damn about what goes on when it pertains to a celebrity. We've seen this happen time and time again. We talk about anything that got to do with politics or whatever's going on. Y'all don't care if it's a regular person to say it to. Quiet as it's kept, a lot of y'all will listen to a celebrity when it comes to politics more so than a politician talking to you about politics. I've seen it happen. So everybody could try to act on their high horse and act, oh my God, this is so bad. I don't want to listen. I don't want to watch this. And yes, it was uncomfortable to watch. Seeing someone drunk and going on a decline in their health and stuff is uncomfortable. You're not supposed to be comfortable watching what Wendy is going through. That's the whole point. It's emotion. I know a lot of people aren't in tune with it, but it's emotion. That's feelings. You're feeling something that's uncomfortable. So I'm glad it's out there because on one hand, it helps. In my opinion, I feel like it helps Wendy in the long run. It helps her hopefully get out of that conservatorship because I've heard 90% of conservatorships people don't get out of. So hopefully Wendy will get out of the conservatorship. She's working on her health and all this other stuff. And she's getting herself better, and hopefully we get her to a place where she gets the help that she needs, which they say that she is, and that she'll be able to get out of that conservatorship and she'll wind up in the right hands of people who genuinely care about her. And I feel like what will help her with her memory and all this other stuff will being around her family. So I'm rooting for her, like I've said many a times. I'm rooting for Wendy to get better. I'm rooting for her to get the help that she needs and everything. And I don't see her coming back and being 110% old Wendy. Like I feel like that person is gone. The damage has been done to herself by herself. I don't see her coming back from that. I don't even see her doing a podcast. But I do see like, maybe she could find something to do. Maybe get some endorsement deals, sell some perfumes, some liquor. I don't. Well, maybe liquor ain't a good idea, especially when you out. I wouldn't take that back. But I'm sure, like once she gets to a place where she is of sound mind, her comeback will possibly be a little different and she'll find a way to make money outside of the podcast space because I don't feel like she has what the mental ability to be able to put on a podcast, especially when we've seen what's happened with she has the same disease as Bruce Willis. So I can't see her 110% coming back from that space. So good luck to you, Wendy. I'm rooting for you per usual. Okay, so let's move on. And speaking of Wendy, let's talk about her former colleague, Charlamagne the God, who has been getting dragged all over social media over this whole drama with the whole Reesa Teesa thing. Now I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Reesa Teesa thing, but I'll let you all know. So I'll fill you in. So Reesa Teesa is this girl that has a TikTok. She did like a 50-part, and I've mentioned this on the show before. She did a 50-part TikTok on chat, and I already told y'all, like, you better be glad if I can sit through at least 2 or 3 parts of a TikTok. Like when I usually do TikToks and I'm a little long winded in a lot of my topics and stuff, I'll split it. You'll get like at least 2 parts tops. But 50, that's a lot for it to ask of anybody. And kudos to anybody who was able to sit through all 50 parts because I couldn't do it. I'm like, oh girl, just get to the point. It's too much. But anyway, so she did this 50-part video where she said she had fallen in love and she got taken advantage. And then they talked about it on the Breakfast Club and just hilarious. Yes, like I said, I'm taking that from T.S. Madison because, like I said, she used mine with Trashy K, so I'm gonna use with just hilarious, which is a play on her name. And people say, "Oh, you was Miss Genera." No, it's a play on words, which a lot of y'all seem to y'all like to pick and choose and cherry pick when y'all want to justify y'all bullshit. But anyway, so just hilarious, brought it up on the show, and Charlamagne responded by saying, "This is giving big back energy. Does she have a big back?" And just hilarious chimed in and started playing, making fun of the girl's appearance and weight and all this other stuff in so many ways, but comparing her to somebody she compared her to. I don't remember who it was, nor do I care. But the fact of the matter was, they both took the time out to fat shame this girl. Now he went and did apologize, but then he tried to backpedal off the apology. So I don't know if it was really apology, a sincere one, or he was just talking out of both sides of his mouth. But while he did apologize, he was like, "I never said she was. I never made fun of her weight and stuff." But I'm like, Sir, you did. Because when I looked at the neighborhood talk clip where they put everything together, they showed the Reesa on Tamron Hall, which is why I think he decided to respond to it because it got so big. One, it got big because T.S. Madison dragged them both down to the ground 2 times on her Maddie in the Morning show during Fag Talk when she had, you know, her compadre up there. I forget his damn name just now. But anyway, so she had, when she was on Fag Talk, she was talking about it. She mentioned it there and did it twice because Jess tried her another time. And to me, a lot of time when Jess was talking about it, it felt like you was trying to be transphobic, but had to tread lightly because if you want to keep your job at iHeart, she better watch her damn mouth. She just got this job. And the fact of the matter was, she's over here trying to throw shade at people like T.S. Madison over, oh, well, y'all asserting yourself in the conversation. I said, well, wait a minute, this is a hot topic story. Everybody's talking about it. So when you are a political, when not political, when you are a pundit, when you do celebrity news gossip or anything that's got to do with hot topics or whatever, our job is to have these conversations. It's to bring these stories up and talk about the things that everybody's talking about. And this is a hot topic. We don't just talk about celebrity news and gossip. We talk about things that's going on in all things pop culture. And this is a trending topic. So yeah, when you talk about somebody with a big bag, that is a term that has been used as of late. Because I haven't heard people start using the term big bag until recently. This has been this is a new, I don't know if it's new, but I've been hearing a lot about it, so I'm assuming it's new because I've been using it for a while too. But anyway, so when you call somebody a big bag, I mean you talk about them about their weight. So I would show the clip, but then again, like I said, when it comes to iHeart and all these other things, I don't want to risk getting flagged or whatever or copyright things. I'm not even going to do that. Then I got to sit and fight YouTube to get the right to use the video when it's all fair use, in my opinion. So he said, all jokes aside, I tell y'all all the time the easiest way to keep your own peace is not to disturb the peace of others. I disturbed that woman's peace, and that wasn't my intention. So I apologize if my words made her feel that way. He continued about offering up 2 points he wanted to make before they moved on. He said, first of all, he clarified that he never said anything specifically about her size. That's a lie. He did. And I explained it to y'all what he did. He said he didn't even know what she looked like at the time, and even specified that regardless of what a person looks like, there's always someone out there for them. Charlamagne also declared that if people do not want to hear other opinions about the things they share publicly on the internet, then they should keep it off social media. And here's the thing that I do agree with, but I'm going to say this. What she brought up was the fact was about, you know, she ain't know who she married. She did a Who Did I Marry series on TikTok where she claimed a famous media, and then she told about a famous media personality thing. So it was basically about her series, and she was talking about that. Now, if what he should have done, and what most people should be doing, is that you should be commenting on the story at hand. What she was talking about in that 50-part TikTok is what you should have related to, not to her weight. When you call somebody, oh, she's giving big back energy, does she have a big back? And follow that up under the same breath, you're making an assumption that she's a big girl, that only fat people, be out here desperate to be in a relationship and get got by men. Ain't just big back bitches. It be the small back ones too, and the middle back ones, and all kinds of backs. Any bitch with a back, male, female, or in between, deal with this. Because men will stick their dick in anything. And that's no shade. I'm just telling you. Because I am a man. Last time I checked. So that's what I'm trying to let people know. It's not just a big woman thing. And that's a stereotype that people believe that fat girls or big back girls are the ones that always go through some things when it comes to men. No, it's just a thing. A lot of people get got in situations. And Charlamagne, if, you gonna make them comments, wasn't you laying low and spreading it wide, with other women while you was married to your wife? DJ Envy too. And don't get me started about Jess Hilarious. How many damn men she went through with all the kids she got? Well, I know this is her second one, but she ain't no angel either. Like her pussy ain't got gold on it, or ain't made of gold, or ain't isn't something to be special about. She ain't got the special cooch. So sis, relax. And here's the thing: is like, yeah, you could make comments about stuff, but when y'all take it too far, and this is what I get irritated about. A lot of people say things, they say disrespectful stuff. They don't stand 10 toes down on what they say, and then they go, "Well, if you don't want about a comment." that don't speak on it. And it's like, but wait a minute. You can say what you gonna say, but you can't get mad at the clapback. It's the same thing like when, oh well, we can't like when with Jess Hilarious tried to say with them when the last time when she tried to come for T.S. Madison, Charlamagne didn't care no way. Envy just there taking up space per usual until he go to jail for all the money he been stealing allegedly. But so he just there to take up space on the show. But Jess really try to push this whole trans thing because all of a sudden this supposed to be the same bitch that said not too long ago, well, who's gonna protect the women? Who's gonna protect the women? But here's a whole woman. You ain't protecting her. You talking shit about her. So I don't get that. So I guess it's only protect women when it pertains to something about you, when it's something you can relate to. So it's only protecting a specific type of woman. And I've always known that was her energy because a lot of y'all give that energy. If the shoe fit, wear it, is what I'm going to say on that. But there's a lot of people out here that like to cherry pick and pick and choose when it comes to the women who they want to protect or gender and all that other stuff when you're trying to drive home your little transphobia, which is what she was doing. And so shout out to T.S. Madison for always defending everybody, not just one specific type of woman. And Judge, you need to get with the program. Y'all need to do y'all research. I need to start actually reading stuff before the show and not just showing up to sit in that damn chair and run off with your damn mouth. Because when y'all come across saying stuff that y'all don't know what the hell y'all talking about, don't be surprised when you get dragged. Just like y'all got dragged over the whole Nimrata Haley situation, because that's her damn name. She want to sit there act like she a white woman when she a whole damn Indian, but then want to talk shit about black people and try to diminish black history in America. Because she's trying to appeal to a certain base she ain't never gonna get. So there's that, and I feel like I hope I hit all the points on this, but I did not. I unfortunately I didn't get to see the episode of Tamron Hall because I don't have Tamron Hall on my television. They don't even show it. It's not. I don't know if it's a syndicator or not. Whatever. They don't show it on network. I mean, on the streaming. Like ABC is part of Hulu's a part of ABC and stuff. So I don't get to watch it. I can see The View, but I can't see Tamron Hall. So I'll be having to watch clips on YouTube because that's the only way you can see the episodes. So Charlamagne, next time, open, think before you speak. And like I say, is this: if y'all going to talk about a specific community, you can say whatever you want to say about us. I don't have no problem. You're going to say things about the gays, the trans, women, whatever the case is. But at least know what you're talking about when you talk about Democrat. We're all not sensitive in a way of like, well, you can't say nothing about trans people. You can't say nothing about gay people. That's not the thing. That's y'all playing victim because y'all getting read down to the ground over the ignorant shit y'all say about specific communities. Nobody says that you can't say that about the gays and the trans and all this other stuff. But when you try to say little slick shit like Jess Hilarious is known for, and we call you out on it, don't try to hide in the corner and try to play victim, is what we trying to say. So if you're gonna say something, expect the clap back. It's it works both ways. Turnabout is a fair game, as Wendy Williams used to say. So that's all I gotta say on that, chair. Um, as I how we gonna call him with Kanye West and Ken? Because I call Kanye West and Candace Owens. Yeah, we definitely need a name for Charlamagne. Well, the girls be calling him Charlamagne the Goddess, where he be sounding zesty and stupid with a lot of dumb shit he says. But I do need to come up with something with that. And then she went and I did and I almost forgot about that. But yeah, she did bring up also something about, oh, I regretted making fun of Chadwick Boseman's weight. And this is what I've said overall with her. This girl is stupid. A lot of y'all was so happy that Jess got this job, but I've come to realize she does not have the mental bandwidth to really come up here and say that. And she always chalks it off and, oh, it's just jokes. Oh, it's this, or it's that. Oh, because now you know it was cancer and he died from it. Now all of a sudden you feel guilty. Whatever, bitch. Now, somebody made a joke about you and your baby and you miscarrying. You wouldn't like that, right? So turnabout's a fair game, right, sis? But a lot of people, oh, that's too far. But what she said was that's okay. So yeah, I've always thought she was a donkey. They need to always give themselves donkey of the day every damn day. And the fact of the matter, and the sad part is, y'all have this platform over there on the Breakfast Club where y'all influence so many eyes, ears, and mouths with the stuff y'all say. And a lot of it comes from a place of ignorance and uneducation. Because I've also realized y'all need some people, say what you want about Angela Yee, but at least she came with some stuff. Like she was smart. She really came in with her homework and her receipts. And she sounded like the more logical one out of all. Now that you look at it, now that you think about it, she was the more logical one on that show. Even though a lot of people always felt like she was fake and phony in situation, and I do agree with that. And she did come across as that. But the three of them together, it's like, damn, none of y'all can have the mental bandwidth to even come up with something of intelligence to say. So it's unfortunate, but this is the mess y'all made, and y'all was thinking ratings rather than keeping the culture moving forward. But they still got a big audience, and people still watch what they do over there. So all right, so let's go from one idiot to another. Let's talk about Joe Budden. That's another one I can't believe is a damn Virgo. Between him and who's the other Virgo? DJ Envy. Between the two of y'all embarrassing my damn sign. Because we're supposed to be highly intelligent people and we real thinkers. But these two are just donkeys. But anyway, so Joe Budden has delivered another controversial take on his latest podcast episode, which I don't understand how you got a show where you need 6 people on a panel to get their points across. I don't know why y'all need that many people, but that's what he want. That's what it is. And they all sound dumb over there anyway. Joe proclaimed that the female rap wave is over in response to Cardi B's new song. Now, in a clip from an as yet unreleased episode of the Joe Budden podcast, I don't know if it's out yet, but I know the clips have been floating online. And usually, if I'm on YouTube or whatever, excuse me, I'll see the clips and stuff. The Slaughterhouse MC shared his thoughts regarding the uptick in female rappers over the past few years, saying, "Y'all ain't gonna want to hear it from me, but the girl rapper wave is over. Just telling you what it is. I'm normally a few months ahead of this stuff, sometimes a few years ahead with this stuff. The girl rapper wave is finito. The cream rises to the top, so Lotto shall remain, Flo Millie shall remain, Rhapsody will always be there, but she was never really a part of that scene. But of all that, go find a girl, send her to Columbia, get it done, put her in the studio, and with effing Mike Will made it, or any one of them N words. All that planting the girl in the scene, getting the record and taking off. That wave is over." He also added by saying, "I think labels be looking at it like very few of y'all selling records. It's too much work to get your coin back. We're gonna go do brand deals all over the world with y'all. Y'all are expensive. Some of y'all are annoying, and none of these records are working." And this is what he said. And then, despite the above comments, Button did applaud Megan Thee Stallion for the success of his last month, even though some of the podcast co-hosts had doubts about her in the track. Now, during the episode of his show in early February, the 43-year-old congratulated the Houston hottie on top of the Billboard Hot 100 chart with her diss track aimed at Nicki Minaj, a song with no hook where you're just firing at ninjas. And with that long speech in it, to go number one, that's big. You got to give it to her. And though some of his teammates claimed the song's chart success was manufactured, they still gave Meg her props, saying, "I think it was machine play behind it to make that happen." This is what Lamar Ice Bernie said before adding, "But I don't want to diminish it. It's all accomplishment." Well, here's the thing. Of course, there's a machine behind everybody. Are y'all new? Like, if you're in the industry, be it an independent or like when Kylie Minogue, I'll use her as an example. And congratulations to her, sidebar, on getting the Icon Award over at the Brits. She's independent, but she has a team behind her that has been pushing for her to have the big resurgence in her career that she's had post pandemic. So yeah, Megan is also independent. Of course, she's gonna have a team behind her, and isn't that what every artist, they have a team behind them to push their music and all other stuff. It wasn't payola. It's not all the other bullshit, or maybe it was. I don't know, but for the most part. And I hate the fact that they've turned this hit song into a Nicki Minaj diss track. She dissed a whole lot of other people on there. She dissed Drake and a bunch of others too. It was not just Nicki Minaj. So I hate the fact that people continue to make it seem like his is this Nicki Minaj diss track. The reason why it became bigger than what it was is because Nicki Minaj took it personal, even though she didn't even mention her. She mentioned the whole, pedophile situation, Megan's Law, that situation. And Nicki understood what that was and blew it up and went on a whole 3-day tangent about it, 72-hour tangent about this damn song, which I also feel helped people get interested in because Nicki's still going on about it. Now she on tour. And you got sissies and punks fighting in the damn aisle. I know y'all seen that shit on social media. The people was fighting at the Nicki concert the first night. Lord help me, because I'm probably gonna be working the one when she come to Madison Square Garden. But anyway, so um with that being said, I feel like she made her big fight about it and ranting and raving on social media helped the song even further because people who weren't particularly interested in his started listening to it because of all the controversy surrounding it and Nicki going online and fighting for 72 damn hours. So I believe that. Now, as far as like the female rap situation, is it over? I call cap on that. First of all, I do not think the female rap situation is over. I don't think it'll ever be over. It's always been going on. First of all, we've always had a plethora of female rappers. It ebbs and flows. It's been going on since the 80s. So, we had Roxanne Shante, MC Light, all the other girls within that whole situation, Queen Latifah, a lot of the girls that were coming out in that era. Then you had the 90s where, it went more into the Left Eye, Angie Martinez, Little Kim, Foxy Brown, Eve, Trina. We had all those girls that were going around that time. And then we had Queen Pen and we had all, and, Charlie Baltimore and all the other girls that came out around that time. And then it went away for a while. And then Nicki Minaj was out here doing what she was doing for a decade. And then after that, she got mad because then we had Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, Lotto, um, the City Girls, all these other girls that were coming out around that time. So it ebbs and flows throughout the years. So for him to go and say this whole female rap thing, maybe you were talking about pussy rap. These girls that be sitting out here half damn naked, like Cardi B in all her videos, or Megan Thee Stallion on her videos, and they talk about their vagina all the damn time. Maybe you talk about that version of female rap. But for the most part, I do not feel like female rap is over. I do not feel like it's coming to an end. I feel like there will always be an audience for it because as long as the women support it and the gays support it and the heterosexual beating they meat to these women, like remember that skit in Hardcore when the guy was in the porn theater and you hear him beating the meat and then all the moaning and stuff. That part before it gets to Big Mama thing. There will always be an audience for that. So with Joe Budden's out here, I just feel like you talking out your behind just for clicks and likes and attention. So I don't agree with him on that. You just talking out of your ass. It says, quiet as it's kept, that tour is a mess. Monica has a 1 hour set as an intermission for Nikki to rest after a big set wait, so Monica doesn't open the show? So Nikki comes out for an hour or comes out and performs, and then you have Monica perform for an hour and then Nikki comes. Oh no. No, no. That is a mess. First of all, I don't know anybody that does a show like that. For all I've known with tours, it's always been when I've been to concerts and stuff, the opening acts are in the beginning and the main attraction saves it for the end and then they come out and they perform. But she gotta be tired for it. She like what, 42, 43? She don't have the energy or the stamina to get up there and perform and do a full set. So that's a child. That shit is a mess. And then online, but I will say this, her set looks pretty good. I do like the set design. The costumes and everything is cute. But her get up on that stage and was like humping the floor and all. I said, "Girl, what are you doing? Get off that damn floor. You looking a mess." But the girls be eating it up. The barbs sit up there, eat all that shit up. And then I remember I was having a conversation. It was about like most of the people that's going to the concerts is the white girls, as in gays. So um we'll see. And I'm curious to know if people out here actually enjoying the show. But anyway, in other news, since you want to throw shade at Cardi B is opening up about what is going on with her sophomore album. Because I've been saying, sis, you've been going for like how long? How long was when did the debut album come out? Like 6 years ago? I'm like, sis, at this point, you need to be dropping music. If you're not interested, if you're so damn scared or worried about anxiety or all this stuff, you're not gonna release music, then just give it up. Just sell lip gloss, perfume, bottles of liquor, like just be an endorsement queen. And because at this point, or get back in reality too, because at this point, I feel like Cardi is just not interested in releasing music. But she did go on social media because remember a couple of weeks ago, her husband, because yeah, they still married regardless of the drama between them. He went on social media, wasn't playing the music, was basically saying like, stop being scared and drop new music for the new album. He said, just release the album ready. Stop being a pussy. So then that was another thing that Joe Budden said recently. He's like, he feel like Cardi is too scared. That was another piece that I forgot to bring up, but now I'm glad I brought it up now because part of the conversation. He said that she's scared to drop new music. Now Cardi is finally addressing whether or not, what's going on. And she said she's ready to drop the record, which we did hear was supposed to be coming out sometime in 2024. We ain't know when. We were saying, sis, you need to drop the record. But she has promised that the ops, human or otherwise, won't defeat her. And so Cardi B said the long-awaited sophomore album will finally drop this year, teasing the new record on her Instagram story Friday. Now, in a clip, the rapper said she's not letting my anxiety, I'm not letting what haters say, I'm not letting what the fans say prevent her from releasing new songs, further stating that I've got no choice because I'm dropping my album this year, so stay tuned for the announcement. Well, it's good you doing it while Nikki's on tour because Nikki, quiet as it's kept, loves. She had that connection where she always knew, who was releasing what, so that way she could intercept and do all other mess. And then the person that was leaking the information got fired, which is why she put that late. Oh, damn, what was her name? Desiree. Well, she put her on blast because Desiree had that bitch fired. The person fired, I should say, who was leaking information to her. Now, allegedly, Cardi B pointed her phone camera at her laptop, which displayed several titles titled Cunty. Girls, that's sampling Kevin Aviance. Because, he the one that started Cunty first. About 30 years ago, I think. But anyway, so possibly they, oh, wait, it came out it came out, when did Cunty come out? Like 99? I think it came out 1999, 98, 99. So that's got to be about, no, it's not 30 years ago. It's like 25 years ago. But anyway, who got time to do the math? The rapper's yet untitled second album follows her 2017 smash Invasion of Privacy, which went 4 times platinum and spawned several hit singles, including I Like It, Bodak Yellow, and Bickenhead. Invasion of Privacy went on to win the Grammy for Best Album in 2019, making her the first female rapper in history to win in the category. The artist's follow-up has been among the most anticipated albums in hip-hop ever since. While she hasn't released a new LP in 6 years, Cardi has been busy with a significant run of hit tracks, including WAP with Megan Thee Stallion and Up. She has also featured on Lotto's Put It on the Floor Again last summer and has been a prolific artist on other songs. But Rolling Stone ranked her 15 best features last year. And then also, I should point out, she released a song called Like What Freestyle, which includes a sample of Missy Elliott's 1999 song She's a Bitch, which was inspired by that video was everything. I love that music video. It's very much The Matrix meets the kind of the cinematography from the gladiator scene in Dune 2. So I love that video. And it was the fact that how Missy was one of the, she was such a genre bender in regards of like visual aesthetics, sonically, visually, all that stuff. So that's why I still to this day I live for Missy. Anything Missy put out, I'm here for. But anyway, so I say all this to say, Cardi, I've been saying, like, don't worry about it because you know what? Regardless of you with the anxiety, first of all, anxiety is such a crutch on you, anybody. It's like it is a hinder. Like I have issues with like sometimes I let my anxiety get the best of me in a lot of situations, but you have to find that inner person, that person within yourself to push through and to get through that whole anxious situation because I get anxious all the time about stuff, and I always say when people say calm down, but it's hard to calm down. And it's funny because when I was a kid I never knew what it was, and but then when you get older it's like you understand it and you know how to handle it. And I don't take medication and stuff because I don't like feeling like I'm doped up or anything. I don't like prescription medication and that stuff. So they tried to put me on that when I was a kid, but anyway, so don't let people hold you back. Don't let your anxiety hold you back. And least of all, don't let these haters hold you back because there's always going to be people out here who's going to trash talk you, who's going to call your music shit and whatever it is. And music, art, anything that got to do with the arts is subjective. So what one person may say is whack, another person is going to say it's the hottest song of the year. So just do you put the music out there, and if you believe in it wholeheartedly, everybody else will, and just hope for the best. Like there's nothing you can do about how people. You can't control how people are going to receive what it is that you do. So just do you, if that makes any sense. So I see. We got a comment. The Barbs are celebrating. They blocked freestyle from #1 on iTunes, but TikTok says otherwise. Okay, well, whatever. They can do whatever they want. And that's why I said, like, you running around all day just trying to sabotage and block people for what though? Like like y'all get pleasure off of trying to go in on somebody that y'all don't even know because you feel like you're doing a favor for your fave who should be focused on their tour right now and making, recouping the money from that album. Because that's what tours supposed to do. Y'all buy that merch, y'all go on the tours and all the stuff. That's supposed to help with, getting that money in your pocket. So I don't understand like the going that y'all going on this whole rampage of let's sabotage somebody because it's going Nikki will be happy about it. It's like you don't even know this lady. Why are artists giving us 2 minute songs? Artists I have the same I ask the same question all the time, but it's that damn algorithm with TikTok. It's like they love short form videos. They even though when you go on TikTok, they allow you to post 10-minute videos. That was one of the reasons why I loved going on TikTok and doing like those videos and stuff. But now that I do my show, I basically just cut up the segments and I upload it there. But back when I used to actually do TikTok videos with the green screen and all that, and put the bells and whistles to put stuff together, I said that. I was like, you know, um, I don't get the whole 2 minute thing. I feel like that's not enough. But they feel like because if you keep streaming and streaming and streaming and streaming and streaming it, it eventually will turn into them making money. So you listening to a song that's a minute 30 and you got it on repeat 20 times because now it's finally ingrained in your brain. It's a money thing. It's an algorithm. And I just think it's stupid. I miss the days of like when I could really get into a song and the song was 5 minutes long. So I miss those days, but unfortunately it is what it is, chill. Now speaking of and I think it's just a mess when they do that. Now, speaking of mess, John, let's get into this Miley Cyrus story. So, this story came out over the weekend, and I gagged. So, sharing is apparently not caring in the Cyrus household because it's being reported that Noah Cyrus and Dominic Purcell were dating and ended things before he entered a relationship with her mom, Tish Cyrus. Now, Noah and Dominic were seeing each other, according to page six. Um, Noah and Dominic were seeing each other in a friends with benefits way, off and on, an insider told People on Friday. They stopped seeing each other, and then Tish started something up. Now, according to the source, Tish was 56, knew of Purcell's relationship with Noah, 24, but never gave Noah the chance to talk about all of this before they got married. Meanwhile, a source told Entertainment Tonight a source for Entertainment Tonight, I'm sorry, claimed Tish decided against warning Noah about her budding romance with her ex. Noah, in return, is reportedly quite offended by the entire situation, according to People's source. Us Weekly broke the news about the family drama with an insider claiming Noah was seeing Dominic when Tish started pursuing him. The source also alleged the turmoil began between Noah and Tish goes far beyond what people think. Noah is very distraught over Tish stealing Dominic from her. Now, Paysafe did not receive a reply from resources. Oh, sorry, representative. What the hell did I get resource from anyway? Representatives for Tish, Noah, or Purcell regarding the reports. Now, fans may recall that the July hitmaker did not attend her mother's August 2023 nuptials, at which Miley Cyrus 31 served as the maid of honor. She instead spent time perusing the aisles of Walmart with her brother Brazen. While many saw their outing as a slight to Tish, the celebrity mom reportedly didn't want Noah or Brazen at her special day celebration, saying that Tish was the one who did not invite Noah and Brazen to the wedding and blocked them on Instagram after she pursued Dominic. This is what a person close to the Cyrus family claimed to Entertainment Tonight. It was Tish who requested security at her wedding to keep Noah and Brayson out. Now, this is some damn mess. And Tish, ain't no good gonna come to your ass until you do right by your kids. I don't understand how you out here hunching your daughter's ex. First of all, why is somebody as old as Dominic Purcell hunching a damn 24-year-old? That's a whole nother story. And I don't know if y'all know who Dominic Purcell is, but he's an actor. He was in Prison Break, actually. He played Wentworth Miller's brother. And he also played Drake, as in Dracula, in one of the worst goddamn Blade movies ever made, Blade Trinity. So that's what Dominic Purcell is. And I haven't really heard him in much of anything. So maybe he thought he had jackpot by marrying Tish. But that's a nasty ass incestuous shit. Like, how you out here spread your legs for your daughter's ex and marry him? Like, that's a that's a violation of girl code. That's a violation of trust. And for her to put a man before her child is disgusting. And you blocking them from the wedding and stuff. Now, and I should also point out, you know what? Noah's not all that upset. But I can understand, like, she's, got venom in her eyes when it comes to her mother because of this. But I should point out that Noah is engaged to fashion designer Pincus. So they got engaged back in June of 2023, but they haven't gotten married yet. So just know that Noah got her new man and she's engaged. And it was a whole situation. So apparently, Miley has always been Team Tish. Noah's always been Team Billy Ray. And Billy Ray got him a whole new wife. I heard Miley don't particularly care for Billy Ray's new wife and a whole bunch of other stuff. And that's weird because he's like I said, he's 54 and she's 24. So he's 30 years older than her. But that seems to be the ongoing thing that they do in Hollywood. But I should also point out that Tish has, I believe, 5 children. So she got Noah, Miley, and Brayson with Billy. And she was married to him for 28 years. But he also adopted her kids from a previous relationship. She has Brandi, who's 36, and Trace, who's 35. And that was when he and her married in 1993, and he actually took those kids in as his own. But he also has a son, Christopher, same name as me, 31, from a previous marriage. So, child, they was blending families, but child, this is a whole damn mess. But to wrap this up, I do want to point out this. So I was looking at it like, Miley, how are you okay with this? But apparently, word on the curb is she was kept in the dark regarding the drama between Noah and her prior relationship with Dominic, who, married her mother. Now, according to People, Miley had no idea about the drama with Dominic, no idea at all. This is what an insider says of the Flower singer, who's 31, after a source revealed earlier this year. This week, that Noah, 24, and Purcell, 54, had been seeing each other before his marriage to Tish, who's 56. She confronted her mom about it. She thinks it's a strange situation, but she loves her mother and wants her to be happy. But at the expense of your sister? Because I heard they don't speak either. Reps from Miley, Tish, Noah, and Purcell did not immediately respond to People's request for comment on Sunday. A rep for Noah previously had no comment, excuse me, this week regarding the alleged relationship between her and Purcell. Now, earlier this week, they said the younger sister was offended over her mom's relationship with the Prison Break star. So apparently, like they said, that Miley had no idea that and Tish was going through what she was going through with Billy Ray, and I understand all that. But to me, you out here marrying your daughter's ex, who was basically a friend with benefit type situation. I can't. Like, how would you? First of all, how do you walk down the aisle and say "I do" to your daughter sloppy seconds? Like, I don't get that. Your daughter had him first, and here you go marrying the very man that she was out here laying alone and spreading the wide with. And probably some good damn sex because older people getting with the younger people. That energy is still the same. Where you can keep it up. Maybe you had to take some Viagra. I don't know, but Tish, I can't. Like, that was messy. And it's funny how, like, we were talking about, I didn't bring this up, but Tish was with Miley when she went to the Grammys, and she won her Grammy, 2 Grammys. And Billy wasn't there, but I heard he was trying to congratulate her. But her relationship with Miley's relationship with Billy Ray is strained. They don't really speak. So I really hope that as a family they work this out. Y'all all need therapy because this is a hot ass mess. Y'all got siblings over here not speaking. I can relate. Um, and you got parents over here, like the kids don't like who the parents done married. And, it's very much a Hatfields and McCoy type situation. Just music style, country music style, or music style, because Billy do country, Miley doing all kinds of music. They released her song with Pharrell that was supposed to be on the Bangers album this week, and it's gaining traction. A lot of people are liking it. So who knows? Man, are we getting a new kind of era with Miley, or with the next album? I don't even know if she's putting out a next album. But after the success, Flowers and the Grammys and everything, I would be working on music. Okay, so we have a comment. Dominic is now stepfather and her ex. So I'm like, y'all nasty. Nasty. Nasty girl. All right, so let's move on and talk about Andy Cohen because he is going through a crisis right now, apparently. So we talked about it in the last show, the last couple of shows, and everybody's been coming at him, accusing him of drug use and all this other stuff. So Leah McSweeney, came out, and Bethany got her reality TV reckoning over there at Bravo, and apparently Leah McSweeney, she came out with her lawsuit. Brandi Glanville's got a lawsuit against him about sexual harassment. Well, let's focus on the Leah one. So she filed a lawsuit on Tuesday, including accusing Cohen of shoving booger sugar up his nose alongside her fellow housewives and pressuring her to consume alcohol. The Bravo bigwig is apparently looking for a crisis PR team to help rehabilitate his image. According to page 6, he had a crisis PR team, which is a red flag. I actually agree with that because if you didn't do anything wrong, then I wouldn't have to worry. I'm like, what she's saying is false. This is a lie. I'm gonna just have the rep go out and say this is false. This is not true at all. This is not what's going on. But it's hard to kind of be Team Andy when there was a clip that I saw was floating around on Twitter the other day where John Mayer was interviewing him, and John Mayer, because him and John Mayer are close friends. I also think they hunched, but that's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But anyway, so them two got, he asked him a question. He was like, I think he said, what is the hardest, I might be paraphrasing, what is the hardest drug you've ever done? And he said, Molly. And Molly got all kinds of, it's like E-pill, cocaine, got all kinds of mixations up in there. So we know from the tea I've heard that he is fond of the booger sugar, which it ain't just Andy, a lot of them do that shit up in Hollywood. It ain't just Ozempic, a lot of these people be out here losing weight on. Quiet as it's kept. But a lot of them be up in there snorting that booger sugar and be acting like they, Tony Montana in the house with the mountain of coke on the table and snorting it every 5 seconds. So Andy is someone who has openly admitted that he is a hard partier, that he loves partying hard, and he's very much someone who can do drugs and party and everything and get up the next day like ready to go for a hike, go work out, whatever the case is. So he very much has that kind of energy. So as far as like this story and stuff goes, I do believe it. I do, but I also believe that the Brandis and the Leahs was down with it all until they could no longer benefit from the situation. And that's why I always say with people, y'all need to be careful who y'all get close with, especially when it comes to coworkers. Like when it comes to me and my coworkers, there was like at times when I worked at certain jobs, yeah, I was cool with people. And yeah, I've maintained a lot of my friendships with certain coworkers when I worked back in the day, more so when I worked at AMC. I've still maintained a lot of those friendships with my AMC coworkers more than any other job. All my other jobs, it's like, yeah, we were cool at the time. We was cool, but as far as like, let's go out and party, let's go out and drink, let's go out and do this. I don't, because a lot of y'all got big mouths, and I've seen it firsthand. A lot of y'all, because from one of my friends who I used to work with at AMC, works another job that I wound up getting in. And I won't spill all his tea about his next job, but I'm gonna say this. There've been conversations, he'll come back and he'll tell me stuff from like management and all the other stuff that was going on with previous coworkers and how they be spilling tea, telling people, "Oh, this one done slept with this one, and this one doing." I was like, "This is why I can't rock with y'all because y'all got big damn mouths. And y'all be out here just running around telling people business and gossiping." And I think that was Andy's problem. Andy got too close with these damn women, and and it's weird because you're the boss of a lot of them because he runs a lot of the housewives. He's also, a moderator on the reunions. So you're being their boss on one hand, and then you can't do your job because you being biased, especially because I don't feel like he was hard enough. And this is only the first episode at the reunion towards Kyle. And that's why I was glad that Erica said what she said. She's like, "Yeah, you really went in on me, man." Like from last season when it was about those. I said, "But that's his job. We want to know the stuff that went on with you and your husband and the money laundering and stuff that he was accused of, and her living off of that." And these are the questions we want to know. So you can't do that if you're the moderator, but you also cordial and friendly with these women outside of the show. This is why you have to draw a line. And that's why that's one thing I'll give RuPaul that I love about him with Drag Race. It's like, yeah, he does what he does. He'll give you the motherly thing on the show. Mama Ru, he'll give you that. But outside of the show, it's like he keeps a distance. And you have to because people will automatically come across and think, "Oh, you're giving favoritism, you're doing this, you're doing that." And if you are hanging out, partying, and drugging, and doing all kinds of other stuff with these people who, quiet as kept, they probably was doing the same shit with him. Now because you ain't getting your way, and now and stuff is going down. Now y'all want to file lawsuits and say, "Oh, he was doing. Guess what he was doing?" And now this ain't right. But you was down. But you was for it at the time. So I got to play devil's advocate. So while we can go in and let have on Andy over the things he's doing, we got to be able to hold other people's feet to the fire too. Like you could come out with your lawsuits and say all this other stuff, and hopefully you're able to get what you need to get out of your lawsuit or whatever. But at the same time, if you was out here with the shits, because first of all, at the end of the day, like I said, I did an episode of Real Housewives of New York, and I gave the women alcohol. The fact of the matter was, you don't have to take it. There's been many people on the show that didn't take that were offered alcohol, didn't drink. So nobody put a gun to Leah's head and told her to drink. Although I will say this, there could be a lot of situations where the temptation is there, or maybe there is a producer, a story producer, whatever, that's kind of like pushing and pushing them. Just have one drink. It's not so bad or whatever. So maybe there are some people that do, because quiet as there are people on these shows that do that. They'll try to push a narrative, or they'll try to push a way for y'all to get to drink because y'all spending a lot of hours on these sets. And you being sober a while, that's one thing, but looser lips the more you drink. It happens on all the reality shows. So um I will keep an eye on this the story as it develops. I can understand why um you know Andy would need to hire a crisis manager or someone, or he's speaking to. They said he didn't necessarily hire a crisis PR person. That he's been speaking to people who have gone through these situations on what he should do moving forward. I feel like let Bravo people handle what they need to handle and see what happens. But on the other hand, him being in a boss position, if it was anybody else, they would have suspended him and have somebody step in until they investigate what all this is going on. But it seemed like NBC is protecting him in a lot of ways. And they put themselves in between a rock and a hard place, in my opinion, because when you've allowed the talent to also be the boss in situations, there's a slippery slope in there. So I don't know what NBC is going to do. Maybe they need to pull him out of the situation, but he's running BravoCon. He has Watch What Happens Live, and he's doing these reunions. So you've kind of made him the king of the network. And if he's found guilty, what's going to happen? Who y'all going to get to replace him? That's what I want to know. All right. So before we get to, we got two more comments. I mean, comments. We have two more topics, I think. Wait. And I also forgot to mention before we get to that, because I said, oh, we have two more topics. One of the things I want to also come up, because, we talked about a lot of people who defended him. Like there was, Luann. We had so many other people, Candy Burris. We had Golnessa. We had so many other girls from Bravo that came out and defended him. I also forgot to mention, because this is the latest story, Lisa Vanderpump also came to his defense. Not only that, but she fired some shots at Raquel for Vanderpump Rules about her revenge porn lawsuit. And that was like, there was a TMZ clip with that. I was wondering, should I play that? I don't care enough to. But she said she never seen him do cocaine, saying, I know for a fact he wouldn't do that. But she also doesn't know him to be how Leah described. And that's why I said, why would you even, and that's what I was going to say, why even speak on something? Because I'm like, first of all, can you even imagine Andy Cohen doing a line in front of someone like Lisa Vanderpump of all people? Like, you know who you're gonna go to when it comes to certain situations. Like, I'm not gonna just openly do my drugs in front of anybody. Just saying, in any logical person. If you are someone who is a professional, but also you do your drugs and stuff, same thing with Wendy. Wendy wasn't openly drinking like liquor bottles in front of the staff of Wendy Williams, which is why DJ Booth said in the video we did in the last episode, he said that nobody was aware of the extent of what Wendy was going through in regards of her addiction and stuff. She was hiding liquor bottles up in the ceiling in her office. So she was doing it, but she was hiding it. But they had suspicions about things. So who knows? It could have been like, oh, she's just losing her memory. She's getting old. Like it could have been other factors, but she was hiding the drinking. It's the same thing with Andy. I'm sure he's hiding his drugs too, but he was bringing around certain people. That's what you do. He's not going to openly snort coke in front of Lisa. Why would she even fix her mouth to say that? Because, oh, I forget. Because she works at Bravo and she got Vanderpump Rules over there. So you got to stay loyal to the network. I get it. But sis, just say you don't know, you're not a, just, she could have just said, oh, I don't know Annie in a way to be doing some stuff like that. But I guess she did kind of say that. But also she kind of just said, oh, I know for a fact that he wouldn't do such a thing. You actually don't know for a fact. So just because somebody didn't do it around you doesn't necessarily mean it isn't so. All right, so I just want to throw that in there real quick. But let's continue. So Roro says Andy been problematic, but he's rich, gay, and Jewish. Absolutely, and those are probably the three factors that goes into why his ass hasn't been asked to step down yet. Purcell basically said Andy needs to be fired, and he was given too much power. I agree with that. That Andy has been given way too much power over at Bravo. That's why I said NBC Universal is stuck between a rock and a hard place, where he's he can't well, he is the moderator of the Housewives and all the reality, all the reunion shows because he does Below Deck and all them too. All the other shows people ain't watching. But so he's the Mr. Moderator for the reunions. Sidebar: I gotta watch the Buried in Medicine one because a friend of mine been posting all the clips on, so I gotta catch up on the Married to Medicine. I ain't watched the rest of the season after y'all got rid of Quad. I didn't care about them broads no more, but I do want to watch the reunion just to see what's it doing. But anyway, so um and he's been given way too much power with the moderating over there, the Watch What Happens Live thing, gave him his own damn talk show, and BravoCon running that. He's the RuPaul of BravoCon. So with that being said, he's been given too much power, and they're not going to step him down. Because, like I said, if it was anybody else, I would have put his ass on suspension. I saw a trailer for Housewife 100. Yeah, I saw it too. It actually looks like a child. It looks like one of those, but all them Lifetime movies look ridiculous. I already know that's literally going to be something my mother watches. My mother loves the Lifetime network, so that type of show was up her alley. I could care less because I know there's going to be a lot of bad acting up in that, but I saw the trailer for that too, and I saw that because I was watching the Wendy Williams docu series on Lifetime with when I was watching it through Philo because that's the other way I can get Lifetime. All right, so we got two more topics, and then we are out of here. So let's get into this RuPaul story. So we talked about RuPaul the other day, where he said Madonna basically treated him like a eunuch when he on two different occasions, when they met out in the '80s and all that other stuff. I hope I still have that Lady Bunny story. Let me look that up real quick while I get into this whole thing. But anyway, after RuPaul revealed in his upcoming memoir, The House of Different Meanings, that he was shaded by Madonna on two different occasions, the Queen of Drag isn't done firing shots at the Queen of Pop. Now, here's an excerpt of this situation because one of the things that what had happened was, I'm hoping I can find it. Oh, I found it. So I'll get to that in a second. But he did an interview with the New Yorker. It's a long interview. He talks about a lot of stuff. He talks about fracking. He talks about all the stuff that somebody. And it's funny because I was like, oh, Ronan Farrow asked him about the fracking. Now, speaking of which, Ronan Farrow, as I mentioned, Mia Farrow's son, actually, he got hotter because I saw a recent video of him. And he did an episode of Drag Race as one of the judges. He's been hitting the gym. So, Ronan been bulking up. But anyway, so Ronan Farrow, who, brought us the whole Harvey Weinstein situation, exposed all of that. He did an interview with Rue. And, Rue, who was 63, um, opened up about aging gracefully. And in the process of talking about aging gracefully, there was some shade at Madonna. So it says, and more famous, and here's an excerpt. So it said, and more famous than ever at 63, it's clear Rue's been thinking a lot about aging gracefully in the spotlight, even comparing himself to another star who's been around the block a few times. Madonna, who Rue once gave him a snarl of contempt back at a club back in the 1980s. Here's what he said. In aging, there is a natural flow, he opines, and then you're against the flow. It doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right. The energy around the Madonna thing, it feels weird, right? He adds, referring to her chasing arena tours and grills in your teeth. Wait a minute, was that yeah, it was a read. He read but I got something to say on this too. So it said Madonna, for her part, seems to have preemptively responded during a recent stop on her celebration tour, basically saying, "When you bitches try to drag me about my age," this is what she said in a viral clip. "I'll see you when you're 65." Well, he ain't that far off. He's like a couple of years. Let's see how you're doing. He says, I'm not interested in appealing to 11 or 25-year-olds. I'm just not. This is what he tells Pharaoh. I can on a bigger level as a mother, as Mama Ru. It's a different relationship. I'm not trying to be them. Well, then it's clear at his point in his career, Ru's not necessarily worried about playing nice or making new fans, all of which just makes us even more excited. And I have to say this, I did pre-order the book, House of a House of Different Meanings, I think is what it's called. I did pre-order the book yesterday on Amazon. So I do believe it comes out tomorrow. And I'm overly curious to read what's in there because, like I said before, with all the stuff that he was talking about with the drug use and everything, I'm definitely curious to hear what he's got to say. However, I just felt like, you know what? I loved what he said. And I'm gonna pull up the Lady Bunny thing in a second because I found it on Instagram and I'm gonna mirror it so that way you guys can see it. But with him and what he said, I just thought was it just feels like sour grapes, in my opinion. Hold on, because let me actually pull up this New Yorker cover, which I actually like that he showed that. But anyway, so it just felt like sour grapes and everything. So here's what I wrote on it because I had to write down my overall thoughts because it was a lot. It took me like an hour to get all my thoughts. It's not going to be that long, but I'm going to say this. Look, I get what he's saying regarding Madonna struggling to accept getting older, but what he needs to realize is that it's easier for men to age gracefully than women. She's a pop star who's been making music for 40 years. So whatever decision she makes, whether or not she decides to age gracefully or gets plastic surgery, people will clown her regardless. I do agree that she does look ridiculous with the grills and the fake booty. Now, in my humble opinion, Madonna looked great before all the crazy surgeries. Because it was like, even when she was in her 50s and even approaching 60, up until the Madam X tour, I thought Madonna looked great physically. Like the body was on point. She was definitely like, there, she could definitely perform in circles around, people a quarter her age. Like kids that were in their 20s and 30s, whatever. Madonna was basically outpacing them, which I know was probably after the concert was over. She was having all kinds of aches and pain. But when you could afford like masseuses and all other stuff, I'm sure she's fine, and how healthy she is. But anyway, now, as far as his comments about her touring at her age, I don't get the shade of that comment when quiet as is kept. You barely perform your own damn music. Rue uses the Drag Race girls and show to promote the basic ass dance pop songs. And when you do perform the songs on the Drag Race stage, you serve the camera the same old lady two step while barely lip syncing for your life. So the same energy you have for Madonna still performing world tours at 65, you need to have that same energy towards your girl Cher, who is in her 70s and still performing for millions of fans while trotting around with a man 40 years her junior. And it's not only her, but you see Mick Jagger and all these other people out here who's what do they call them, octogenarians? We had Barry Manilow in his 70s still out here performing. We had what's his name? Tony Bennett performed to the day he died, even with dementia. So why is it a problem with her? I also find it quite tacky that he's upset with Madonna because she's been using a lot of the queens from Drag Race in her celebration tour because outside of Bob, the queens are participating in her show for free. I should also point out, because we have talked about this on the show in regards to the amount of queens that have performed on in the thing with her. Safira Cristal, Plain Jane, Manila Luzon, Detox, Miss Cracker, Miss Fame, Simone, Plastic Tiara, or Plastic Tiara, I should point out, and Trinity the Tuck, to name the few, have been the ones that have come on stage to help her judge the ballroom dance hall while Vogue is playing. So, Rue, your narrow-minded view of Madonna is tired and intellectually lazy because as someone who's seen her out on her current tour, has more energy and tenacity in her injured hip and knee than you do in your whole damn body. And I happen to see this comment, I should point out, from someone named Mr. Croft on Queer Team. And I feel like their assessment pretty much summed things up. So let me read what they said. They said RuPaul's critique of Madonna stems from a long-standing hate rather than an objective assessment of her artistry. Despite changes in Madonna's physical performance over the years, her artistry remains undiminished. Her art is much deeper than RuPaul's. It stands on an immensely higher level, and the two of them have nothing in common artistically. Well, one of the things I will say they have in common, they're both good capitalists in regards of they taken something underground and brought it into the mainstream. And then once I'm bringing you the difference, I'll get back to what he said. Madonna took something like voguing and brought it from the underground and brought it into the mainstream. And to this day, she's still profiting off it and so many others because we've seen Beyonce and so many other people incorporating ballroom and it's had its new renaissance into the mainstream. And RuPaul with drag, because RuPaul was the one that took drag and brought it into the mainstream. He's one of the most successful drag queens in mainstream media that has taken drag and brought it into something else, and has provided opportunities for other drag queens who start out in the underground and have given them a platform to be able to do so many other things. So they do have something in common on that level. Now, having attended the celebration tour, I can attest that Madonna's current show is incredible, except for the ending. Now, I'll give you that. I hate the ending of that. It just felt anticlimactic. More akin to the musical that narrates her life through her music. There's absolutely no reason for her to stop doing live performances in arena or stadiums, as they continue to be a powerful expression of her enduring talent and creativity, which is not repetitive at all. Drag at its core is about challenging societal norms, which they really don't be doing on that show. But anyway, embracing fluidity in identity and expression and celebrating artistry without boundaries or social limits. Creativity is not limited by age, it knows no expiration. RuPaul only shows boundaries and limits, narrow minded thinking, but the reason is that Ru has always hated Madonna. And that's true. And he does have narrow-minded thinking because, Chad, remember that part when they tried to drag him down to the ground over that comment he made about trans people? And what about, they asked about what about bringing trans people on the show? And he was like, he made a comment or something or another about, when, mind you, trans people have always been the foundation of drag. That, me, when I first started going to drag shows, the many women that I saw that was doing drag were trans women because what other jobs were they able to get outside of working the street corners or whatever at the time. So a lot of them went into the world of drag performance to make money. So they wouldn't have to resort to prostitution and those other things. So trans women have always been an integral part of drag culture. So, he didn't want to bring that. He always wanted to make it like cis men was out here doing it, but it's not true. So he made the comment about people who I can't remember exactly what the whole thing was, but he made an inclination about people getting parts put in and like fake butts and boobs and things and all that other stuff to enhance their body and trying to make that difference. And the trans community dragged him down to the ground with that comment. But so his view has been narrow minded. Now, before we move on, I do want to point out let's get to the Lady Bunny thing. So Lady Bunny had posted because she said that she had saw an excerpt online, and this is what she posted on her Instagram. So I was like, "Oh, I need to bring this here." And I love the fact that, as Lady Bunny being friends of Rue and them coming up together in the drag scene from like being down in Georgia and then coming up to New York together. Like to me, Lady Bunny has always kept her edge in regards of drag, even though they're friends. He's gone a little too mainstream for me. So she brought this up because he posted in the article that he's talking about building a bunker because you know people have this thing called cycle of destruction. So his quote was, humans on this planet are in the cycle of destruction. This is what he said. I'm plotting a safety net. I wouldn't call it a bunker, and then referenced documentaries about castles he's been watching before bed, saying it's a lot of concrete and a lot of things. I keep thinking about these castles that I'm going to bed to. So, and I saw Raquel read like this comment too. So I need to talk to her about this. But when I cut this up, I'm gonna definitely put it on Instagram and see it. I mean, not well, I'll put it there too. But I'll put it on TikTok and see it, or I'll see if she responds to it. But anyway, because she actually knew because she worked on Drag You and stuff. But anyway, so Lady Bunny wrote, oh my God, I don't see that I have the full thing. So I may have to go to my phone real quick and read it because it's not really showing the whole thing. So anyway, so it says, Rue has a new book out, which I ordered and looking forward to reading. Until it arrives, I checked out a few excerpts and interviews. One chapter was devoted to how he got sober, which is quite a reveal to me. It's something he and I never discussed, and I've never had any desire to point that finger. Partially because I didn't want to repeat unconfirmed gossip, and partially because I was drinking and drugging too. This screenshot is from a tech site, and the article focuses on Rue's dream of building a safety bunker because Rue says humans on this planet are in the cycle of destruction. So Rue is protecting himself from the climate cycle of destruction, which his fracking helps to create. He's making himself safe while destroying the planet, and he votes for and even writes song lyrics about the Clintons and Obamas, who sold fracking just as Biden drilled for more fossil fuels than Trump had. Mama Ruth fracks, Mother Nature dies. And hypocritically, Drag Race had the nerve to have a climate change ball in season 10 to raise awareness among viewers as to the dangers of the climate crisis. But Ru and his husband George will be in their bunker, safe and sound, away from floods and extreme weather, which their actions and Ru's support for Dem frackers, and Dem as in DEM, as in Democrat, have caused. Child. And that's why I love Baby Bunny, because she's not afraid to call out not only the Republicans, but the Democrats as well, and call out her own damn friend on his hypocritical ass beliefs. So while I love that, he has done what he's done in regards of drag and moving drag forward and bringing it into the mainstream and all the other stuff, I applaud him on all that. But his political beliefs, his policies, I can never get behind. And I've always kind of looked at Root sideways in that way. And I'm glad that people are calling him out. And I will also say this: when I saw an article similar to what I just talked about in Queerty, they was reading him down in the comments. So I say all this to say, Rue, let's move on for our sour grapes over Madonna. Clearly, at this point, Madonna's never going to make an appearance over on Drag Race. Y'all can keep doing your unauthorized musicals, Madonna, your Night of 1,000 Madonnas. You can continue to do your Madonna homage, and Michelle continue to eat that up. But at this point, I just feel like I just feel like at this point, we're never going to see Madonna grace that stage. You'll see more or less the Drag Race girls, and they should be allowed to go on there to get the exposure from to the Madonna audience on who these queens are that's getting up there. Why can't they get the exposure? I don't think Drag Race are constantly coming on All Stars should be the only way that these queens get acknowledged or attention. They should be able to go on these shows and do what they do, or go on other places. But everything with Rue is about money. He don't get dressed up in drag unless he's getting paid for it. He did say that. So I guess that's all I got to say on that until more stuff come out. But I'm sure, like, once I read the book and everything, by the end of this week, I'll definitely be doing videos and let y'all know all the tea and the shade that was spilled in that book. Okay, so um let's read some of the comments. Let's see, we have quite a few. I was like, what was that? Oh, my phone acting a fool. But anyway, so it's I'm mad my girls get more. Wait, it's now I'm mad my girls get more publicity for judging Ballroom on tour, so I'm going to join the other gays and bash Madonna. It feels very personal with him, even though he said he has no ill will towards her. But like that recent comment that he made in the interview, it did feel like you were being shady. She also read the retired queens on suing her. Yeah, I saw that video. And which is why I find it funny that she was up there when she made the comment, and I did laugh because it's like, oh, you talking about that you got to get up early in the morning for a job you don't have? Because that was true. The guy said he didn't have, they don't work, but you mad that you had to stay up late because it was past your bedtime. And it's like when you do any kind of things, if you're going out or whatever, you always make sure that you go out and you might come home late. It just is what it is. Like we're bitching, and that's why I found it funny that the college kid talked about. Oh, I need to get sleep and stuff. I have school in the morning. I'm like, what are y'all talking? Like this, y'all new generation, y'all are so lightweight with it. When I was in my 20s, when I was in my early 20s, even when I was in, even up to, well, I would say now, no. I don't really do the late night thing. But, well, actually, I do, but it depends. It really takes a lot for me to go out now. But when I was younger and I didn't have a lot of responsibilities, especially in my 20s, I would go to work, come home, take a shower, go to parties with my friends, be out until like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I would go to work straight from there. There were times when it was like my friend Ray, who was like a nurse, whatever. Him and his husband, when I used to go to their house in Brooklyn, every time because Fourth of July was his birthday, and he would always have like this big party at his house, blasting music and everything. They West Indian gays. Well, he was. The husband wasn't. His other husband Ross was not, but he was West Indian. But anyway, so we would go to his birthday party, whatever, and then right after, we would go to Fire Island. We'd actually, clean up or whatever. we would go pack up the car because it was a bunch of us that would go, and we would go directly from Brooklyn to Fire Island, and we would go. That would be our thing every 4th of July because his birthday fell on 4th of July, so that was always an event, especially when I was coming up in my 20s. So I just don't understand a lot of y'all now where y'all talk, oh my god, I need my beauty sleep. Child, these days I barely get sleep. Like last night, if y'all saw me on Facebook, y'all saw it was like my brain was going a mile a minute. I couldn't even fall asleep, which irritated me. It's just how I've always been wired. I've never really needed a lot of sleep. I think a lot of times now if I get too exhausted, which I did the other day, I may sleep like one day I may need to sleep for a good 9, 10 hours, and then I'm good. The rest of the week, I'm like, okay, 4 or 5 hours is good. I don't need to sleep right now. But yeah, once a week is good enough for me. That's always kind of like how my brain's always going a mile a minute with some shit. It's just the way I've been wired. But anyway, so let's get to. Oh wait, I got more comments. It's like I was about to move on. Yeah, it said, oh yes, Ronan Sinatra could get it. Not Sinatra, because yeah, but that's the word on the curve, and that's his biological daddy is Ronan is Frank Sinatra. I believe it because he don't look nothing like no damn Woody Allen. So yeah, Ronan Farrow was fine, and then on top of that, like I said, he made himself look way better because he hit the gym, so he don't look like a twink no more. Even though I think he's beyond the twink phase, physically he don't look like Timothy Chalamet. He using the shade to promote. Oh, well, don't they all do that? Like they always look for that talking point to sell the memoir because it was just like, okay, like I'm here for you spilling the tea about your encounter with Madonna, and she wasn't the nicest. Like, look, she did that to me. You best believe that shit would end up in my memoir. But all the extra stuff, like throwing daggers, like, oh yeah, you're 60, but why are you still chasing arenas? Why not? If she still has the ability to sell out arenas, to give her fans a show, to really get out there and do what needs to be done, why are you complaining? At least, when Madonna releases music, even though she didn't recently, but at least when she releases music, she promotes it and doesn't use a reality show to do it like you do. Like you don't even promote your music. You don't even perform it live, except like I said earlier, when you get up on the stage, you do a little share two-step when you be off key with the choreography, and you be having half naked dudes around you who really be going in with the choreography, and you just stand into your little two step like that, and then lip syncing to your songs like a poor man's Erica Jane. So don't be mad at Madonna that she actually be up there. With her mic on singing, and even at 65 with her injuries, still be up there attempting to do the choreography. At least she gives her fans a show. Everything with you was a money grab. I mean, everything with Madonna's a money grab too. But when it comes to play, and when it comes time to get up there and give a show, she gives you a show. You getting your money's worth. No one can take away from her activism and connection to the LGBT community. She's bigger. I agree with that. And here's a question. Because we already know Madonna is worldwide famous. Like she's worth almost $1 billion, and she's worldwide famous. But Ru got his money too. He got his millions. I believe he's worth 60 million. Madonna's almost, I think she's worth 800 million. She's almost at $1 billion. She ain't like Jay-Z, Beyonce, we had to combine their money to be billionaires. But um, with this being said, do y'all think that RuPaul is gay famous and not famous famous? I mean, I know people outside of the gay community know him because, he's done mainstream work. But is Ru considered famous famous, or is he gay famous? That's what I was. That's like inquiring minds want to know. That's what I wonder. If y'all like, let me know down in the comments what y'all think. I mean, I kind of think he's a slight bit above gay famous. Like he's not like Ross Matthews and Carson Kresser. Like they gay famous, or Todrick Hall is gay famous, but he's not like. But I think he's more famous than the gay famous. But who knows? Um. Okay, so let's get to our final topic, and then I'll get to the comments afterwards. And let's talk about Noah's Ark because I'm still waiting on that reboot. What's going on with it? So Noah's Ark recently did a thing, and this actually came out around Black History Month, but I came across the article after Black History Month. So apparently we're gonna still celebrate Black History Month in March, Black Gay History Month. That's another thing we should do too. Or do we just celebrate Pride in June? We need to have a Black Gay History Month moment, and where we show people who are LGBT that are black that have contributed to Black history. Like, Bayard Rustin has contributed to Black history. I've said that many a times, but we do need to incorporate our Black queers in there too. We should only just save it for June. Although we can interlink with that too, because the white gays ain't the only ones that have been pushing for things for change and things to happen. But anyway, let's get to the Darryl Stevens story. So, openly gay actor Darryl Stevens is reflecting on being told to keep his sexuality a secret if he wanted to continue working in Hollywood. Now, this came from Pride, so shout out to them. So, seeing stories about gay black men on screen is rare in 2024, but 2 decades ago, it was unheard of until Noah's Ark premiered. Despite the show breaking new ground in Hollywood, actor Darryl Stevens was advised to stay in the closet if he wanted to stay booked and busy. The 49-year-old actor was eager to learn how to play the character of the titular Noah, but because there was no black queer representation on TV, he had to figure it out as he went along. Saying, and I quote, "My biggest focus was figuring out who Noah was." This is what he said in a recent interview with BuzzFeed celebrating Black History Month. "I'd never seen a character like him on screen. I wasn't sure how I was supposed to be playing him. If you look at earlier iterations of Noah, I played boyish and sex kitten versions of him. By the time we shot the pilot, before Logo picked us up, I figured out who he was. But for a long time, I was wondering, who is this guy?" Now, back in 2005, when the show first premiered, Stevens recalled the Noah's Ark creator, Patrick Ian Polk, told the cast, "None of us are going to talk about our sexuality in public," as a way to try to keep their sexualities as being the focus of all the press coverage for the show. And what Darryl said, he said, "I think it was because of what he'd seen with shows like Queer as Folk in terms of how much press and attention the straight actors were getting for being quote unquote brave enough to play gay characters." He explained, "There was always that fear of if they found out, I'll never work again. What's interesting is that once I came out, I was getting tons of work and it was all good work." Now, that is true because I have noticed that even though the roles have been too and far between with Darryl Stevens, one of the things I've always noticed over the years, especially like in the night, what was it, in the 2000s, that I always noticed that Darryl Stevens was construct. He was working. It wasn't just Noah's Ark. He did that. Oh my God, what was the? He did the movie Circuit. I think that was like his first movie that he did. Circuit. I remember buying that movie on DVD at the Virgin Mega store because I was like, oh, it's a gay film about circuit queens. So I bought that movie, and Darryl Stevens did. I think that was his first movie. We said. Then he was in Boy Culture, and he recently did the sequel to Boy Culture and so many other movies. So I do remember that Darryl Stevens was actively working, especially like in the late '90s and early 2000s, because he was appearing in a lot in the start of the 2000s, because he was doing a lot of those. He was doing a lot of queer independent films. So, and then he said, while working on the show, Stevens also scored roles playing LGBTQ characters in the films, as I said, Boy Culture. And also, he did another gay movie, which I saw in the theater, and child, I gagged watching that. I think I saw that, The Quad. I think that's where I saw that movie at, which is like a well known independent theater in, I think it's in Tribeca. And they said, but when he was playing those roles, he had yet to come out publicly. It wasn't until he was asked to take part in Pride's sister publication, Out Out 100 list, that he felt comfortable doing it, and said, "That's when I embraced the opportunity to talk about it in ways that felt unfettered and uncontrolled. I'd been living out loud in my daily life for years, though. That's when I embraced the opportunity to talk about it in ways that felt unfettered and." Oh wait, did I put that line twice? Anyway, so as the first TV series to feature a group of black queer friends, Noah's Ark made a huge cultural impact, even if it was lauded by critics and audiences when it first came out. Ri- and Stevens hopes that his career serves as a welcome. I was like, wait a minute, I love Noah's Ark. I think it's because, and you know what, I love the lines of it. Bitch, what's the gaga? Bitch, what's the tea? Egger. It was all the lines, especially when it came with Alex. I live for all the lines and stuff that was in that show. It was that show was a gaggle to me, even though there was a certain parts where I did feel like the development of the characters did kind of skeeter all over the place, and I really feel like they should have been given more than 10. What was it, 8 to 10 half-hour episodes? I feel like a lot of the seasons were episodes was rushed. It should have been given more than 2 seasons. I do believe that it was a huge ratings hit for Logo, but yet again, a black show, them Drag Race being the show, the two shows that have really put Logo on the map. Because who told my Logo now? The show. I guess they decided to cancel because they don't want the black shows to be the network. But quite as it's kept, a lot of these networks use black shows to even put their shows on the map or their channel. Fox did it. UPN did it. The WB before it became the CW did it. So, it's a tale as all this time. But he also said that I hope my contribution is that I left a generation of Black queer folks more comfortable in their skin than they were before. There's power in owning who you are. I hope my legacy is that queer folks, Black, brown, and everybody else, feel seen by the work that I've done and that it inspires them to be their full selves. Ultimately, I want us to be as free as we can be. And what I did hear, because we did talk about this before, there's supposed to be a reboot that's supposed to be in the works. I remember that the cast said, and I believe it was Darryl that said it last year. They had shot something. There's supposed to be a reboot coming. They said it was supposed to come out last year, sometime in 2020. I think around the time of when Drag Race and Real Friends of WeHo started with their controversy and stuff regarding that. That was when Darryl Stevens said they had shot something, and sometime in around Pride season last year we were supposed to get a Noah's Ark reboot. And look, this time there's a time no time more than the present is what we need this, because I've been saying for years we need more QPOC representation on the big and small screen, and so that way the next generation of queer actors won't have to struggle to find a source of reference when it comes to develop characters that they're playing, especially like what Darryl said with Noah, because there's no point of reference. And one of the things I always love about, because I'm still waiting for P-Valley season 3. One of the things I love about Patrick Ian Polk is that Patrick Ian Polk, has always been the person, and Maurice Jamal, may he rest in peace. So many other people were coming up around that time, were creating amazing queer content featuring Black gay men. And we had oh my God, what was the goddamn? I forget the name of it. B-Boy Blues. We had B-Boy Blues that came out. I'm really hoping we get another film, but I don't know what Jussie Smollett dealing with, what he dealing with. I don't know if we'll get another one. So um we need more of that representation. We need to show that we need to be more visible, and it needs to go beyond being a pundit on YouTube or whatever the case is. We need those scripted shows. We need those reality shows featuring us on, out there in the world, and us being represented. And it needs to go beyond Noah's Ark. And I have to say, Patrick Info has always been an inspiration for me in regards of like creating queer content and all this other stuff. And I'm like, shit, I got some ideas that I want to develop in regards of like Black and Latino queer characters. So if anybody out there know how to produce some things and co-writers, whatever the case is, you in New York, hit me up. We could work on some things. Okay, so I see that we have a comment. He said, I think he's gay and girl famous. I don't think he appeals to straight men. Um, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are straight guys. I will say this because we've heard it many a times on Drag Race. There are straight guys who actually do watch Drag Race. They watch it with their girlfriends, whatever the case is. Um, that doesn't necessarily mean they're gay, but I do get what you're saying. That I do feel like there are more gays and women that watch Drag Race more so than straight people. So, um, and yes, I do remember Punk. I think it's on. I think I watched it because I never. One of the things I was so mad I never got the opportunity to see it in a theater. Two of my friends from back in the day, Eric and Shamik, actually went to go to the movies to see it. This was before I even knew who Patrick and Polk was, and I had never gotten the opportunity to go to the theater and see that movie when it came out. But I remember that I think around the time when Noah's Ark started floating around again and people was mentioning last year, I watched Punks on, I think it's on YouTube. If you actually look it up on YouTube, I think the whole movie is up there, and I actually watched it. That's where I saw it from. Because it's hard to find it's hard to find that movie anywhere. I don't know. I may have to do a little Google schmoogle on the YouTube thing, or even um what's the other damn channel, or Prime Video, and see if it's if it's a film able to that you could purchase, or is it one of those films that's out of print? Like, I don't know, but yeah, Punks was definitely a movie I loved. A lot of what Patrick and Poe does with the four friends, navigating through life, and they're gay and all that stuff, very much falls in that whole line of Sex in the City, Golden Girls. It follows that formula. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we need a lot of more of those that type of content. And like I said, I got some ideas that I got floating around where I want to work with some writers and people who are, you know, creative and bring this idea to life. But anyway, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you all for tuning in to the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. do yourselves a solid before we get up out of here and hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button if you haven't done it already. So that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of the show. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you everybody who was in the comments commenting on the topics, such as we had Robert, we had Roro, we had Cleveland Legends, and all the others that was in here. Yeah, so I know probably I didn't get my usual audience because I came on real late. I'm supposed to, y'all already know the team with the internet and all of the stuff. I figured it out. But anyway, yeah, I love you all for watching. And until next time, ta